Coach Ken Kreitzer, Cadets media, good to see you.
Good to see you.
How does it feel this your offense leading the country in rushing this year? I think it's 340 yards a game. Next team in line is about 60 yards behind you guys. How is the rushing game gelled so much for you this year?
Well, that's certainly a goal of our program and a goal of our offense. And the unit understands that that's the recipe and what we need to do to be successful. And it's the number one goal in the plan. So we stress those things, stopping the run, running the football, and doing it at a high level. And got to continue to do that if we want to continue to be successful.
Your offensive line, has been stable. You've avoided injuries, played the same 5 starters this year. And you still have 2 sophomores with Brady Small and Pablo Generali at key positions. How's the offensive line become so productive for you?
Well, again, I think they're remarkably well coached. I think Coach Vitti and Coach Drinkle do a phenomenal job kind of setting the tone. And those guys have really gelled, like you said, knock on wood. We've had the opportunity to play 5 guys consistently and continue to have some guys that have come in and help in the rotation. But to have 4 or 5 core guys come in and play the bulk of the snaps, and they've gotten better every week. And anytime you play up front with guys next to you, you start to build chemistry. And those guys love playing next to each other and understanding how things fit and how they can work together. But I couldn't be more proud of a unit and the way they set the tone, the way they dictate the pace. They play with violence. They're relentless. They play with great effort. And then we go as they go.
And I was really impressed, obviously, with you. Wayne Coleman played very well last week, filling in for Bryson Daly. But I thought, what is the impact on your center, Brady Small?
Yeah, just the rhythm of some things, and in academy games in particular, they do it, and I give them credit. They did a good job with some shift calls and some late moves and late stems. And unfortunately, that got us off track in critical moments. So, just some timing elements, and Dwayne did a good job of, fixing some things and doing some things that you probably saw with the fake claps and the fake cadences and some things to kind of keep them off guard so we could continue to do what we needed to do. But, he gets snaps with Brady every day. And he's able to run with the first offense even when Bryson's available. So just those reps have been critical for him and critical for those guys around him having the confidence that he can go in there and get it done. And that showed up on Saturday.
Tell us a little bit about the North Texas defense.
Yeah, so really multiple. They got a lot of guys back, several guys who are experienced and have played a lot of football. But they base out of a 3 safety defense, and then at times they go to a multiple odd front defense. But we expect multiple looks, just like we have in every game. We expect them to give us different looks and different things to keep us off balance as well. But we've got to just continue to do our job and execute the game plan, continue to build on some things that we've done. But we've got to continue to progress and get better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Go ahead, John, on Zoom.
Hi, Coach. John Chuhran, Cadets media with Ken.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm curious, the team played exceptionally well in the second half last week. You actually got back into the scoring groove in the 3rd and the 4th quarter. It looks like this team's a very high-scoring team you're going to play, and you're going to have to do that again this year, or in this weekend, rather. Did last weekend really set you up? Because I think it was the first weekend where you really had important scores in the second half that were necessary to win the game.
Yeah, just the challenge at halftime in that game and just getting back to basics and really just embodying our culture and what we needed to do to be successful. And I was really proud of how they responded, and we were able to do some things better than we did in the first half. A lot of some of the errors that happened in the first half. And again, I give credit to the other team, but, we shot ourselves in the foot several times, and we were able to overcome some things in the second half of that game. And then I think with any game, it's us doing our job, regardless of the other side. Playing complementary football is something that we pride ourselves on every week in all 3 phases. And I think this week, like any week, we've got to come out and do our job and do it really well and execute the fundamentals, execute the game plan, and continue to try to do it at a high level.
Have you worked, I know you've worked again with having Coleman be your quarterback again. Are you prepared in case you do have Bryson back?
I mean, it's day to day. We'll see. You know, I think whoever's out there will give us a chance to win the game, and just understand the practice reps and the details of their assignments and leading that core group. You know, I've got trust in Dwayne Coleman. And I think anytime your first start is the Air Force game, you know, coming in and playing the way that he did, and he wants a lot back, and he'll continue to progress. I think you would see a big transition from his first game to a second game. I think you would see that with any guy. But, you know, I have confidence with whoever's in there at quarterback.
Thanks, Coach. Have a great Saturday.
Thank you, John.
Hey,
Sal?
Cody. Yeah, hey, Cody. It's Sal from Black Knight Nation. Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well. How you doing, Sal?
Great, great. Hey, how much do you think? I know Dwayne's a really confident guy. How much do you think that game and that leading the team to victory even enhances that confidence going into his second start if he needs to do that again?
Well, it's huge. You know, I think the pressure when you look at that situation, you know, and obviously we downplayed it, he downplayed it, but you know, you're backing up a guy that's playing as well as a quarterback in the country is playing, relative to their offensive scheme. It's the Air Force game, you know, and you come off a bye week. I was just really proud of how he handled his business, and he didn't flinch. And like I said before, you know, there was times where he needed to play better and do some things better, you know, and I think that challenge, and he's up for that challenge, and you saw it today in his practice reps and his attention to detail. But I was just really proud with how he responded, handled his business, and then the guys around him having confidence in him to do his job and support him in that role. You know, it was a full team effort, and I was really, really proud of how he handled his business throughout the week. And then on game day, he didn't flinch.
Yeah, I saw the defensive players after the game find him and congratulate him. You heard Kanye's comments in the press conference after the game. I mean, it was a little rally, and it seemed like a little bit behind Dwayne on Saturday. Did you get that feeling or no?
I did. You know, I wouldn't necessarily compare it to the UTSA with Cade Ballard and Tyler, because Dwayne has at least played in games and worked with the first offense. But certainly, man, our team responded in a way that they needed to, and they understood, you know, what they needed to do to be successful, and they rallied around him and supported him throughout the week, supported him on game day, and you saw that with all three phases. The defense really supported him, and the guys on the team have confidence in him, and it showed on Saturday.
It looked like Kanye put the team on his shoulders a little bit in the second half. What did you see from the tape about Kanye's effort? And it seems like he continues to get better and better.
Yeah, you know, that was a challenge coming out of halftime, and you know, we knew what we needed to do on that first drive, and you know, it was a halftime that, you know, our guys were not pleased at all with their effort and the way that they had played thus far, and the outcome. And we were fortunate to be up, but we knew what we needed to do on that first drive of the second half. I thought they responded really, really well, you know, and I think just that confidence and building forward, and Kanye taking on that role and really putting the team on his back, so to speak, and getting better with every carry. But you also got to look, there were several carries he didn't get touched until the third level. So wide receivers blocking, slots blocking, up front, dominant at times. You know, so it was a full all 11 team effort. But I was really proud of how Kanye responded, being able to take on that load and do what he needed to do.
One more on Lucas Scott. He's received a couple of honors during the season. It seems like he's really you moved him the right tackle, and it seems like it's really worked out pretty well. Can you just talk about his season so far? He's been really consistent from what I've seen.
Yeah, so this past week, you know, we always chart what we call man on tackles. So if the guy you're responsible for blocking makes the tackle, you get a minus and a man on tackle. So Lucas went an entire game without a man on tackle. You know, he played exceptionally well. It was the best game of the year by far. But, you know, I think every week, you know, you look at that group as a total in totality, you look at that group, every week it may be a different face, whether it's Brady getting recognition or Connor or Paulo or Lucas. They're playing really good football, and they're having great weeks of practice and preparation. But Lucas has gotten better from game one to now, and he's playing his best football right now. He's gonna need to continue to do that moving forward. But he had a great practice today, great energy. He brings it every day, and he's a really good player.
Appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday, Cody.
Thanks, Sal.
Joe, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Worley, Joe Icano with GBK. First question, how was practice today?
It was great. The energy was great. I think the guys are ready to play and ready to practice, and it showed today. There was great energy, and that was critically important. But I thought overall execution, and like all Tuesdays, we put some things on them in a game plan, and processing those things, and then we'll get some things corrected and add some things tomorrow. But I thought the energy was great. I thought the enthusiasm was great. The effort was great, and overall it was a really good practice.
And you just talked about the mob and just how effective they've been as a unit. And when you look at that, when you look at the second half of the Air Force game, I mean, pretty much they're sold out stadium, 30,000 people there or whatever it was. Pretty much everybody in the building knows you guys are handing the ball off to Kanye up the middle. You guys just steamroll Air Force. How exciting is that as an offensive coordinator? How much confidence does that give you to know that your offensive line can just go out and dominate a defensive line like that, or front seven?
Yeah, well, and that was the message at halftime. I was like, listen, I'm going to call these 3 plays. And if they stop these 3 plays, they deserve to win. And that's the bottom line. And they said, okay, let's go. And they responded really well. I mean, some of the holes that some of our backs had, and Kanye having up to unscathed on some things, but for them to play how violent they played, and to strain to finish, and, getting guys on the ground. And I mean, they just played a gritty brand of football. And it's obviously takes a lot of pressure off of us as a unit, as a play caller, when you know that your offensive line is going to get movement, change the line of scrimmage. But I was just really proud of how they responded in the second half and doing what we needed to do to win.
And as you get ready for North Texas, you don't have to worry about this, but your kind of partner in crime, Coach Woody, does. Their offense is unbelievably explosive, and they're in the top 5 in the nation in passing and total offense, and just able to put up points in bunches. I mean, in a number of games this year, they've put up 21, 28 points in under 5 minutes. Again, not your concern directly. And I know you have a lot of confidence in what the defensive side of the ball can do and what Coach Woody can do. Personally, I believe he's one of the most, if not the most, underrated defensive coordinators in the country. But that being said, does that put additional pressure on you as an OC, knowing how much North Texas can do offensively? And I know your goal on every single drive, obviously, is to score a touchdown. But is there any added pressure around that in a game like this?
Not necessarily. I think every week you look at that, and you look at, playing complementary football. And the only thing that we're focused on is doing our job. And we have the utmost trust, and I think underrated is overstated. I think he's one of the best in college football, period. But, we're going to do it. Our goal as an offensive unit, and our goal is to do our job. And if we can do that and take care of the football and churn out first downs and finish in the end zone, and, put the ball in the box in the red zone and eliminate pre-snap penalties and just do our job, the rest will take care of itself. And that's the goal every week, and that's not going to change this week.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Cody. Ken McMillan from The Record.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
Good, thank you. Cody, just to go back to what you were talking about with the line play and all, give us a technical reason why it didn't work well in the first half.
So penalties and timing is what got us in the first half. We had a few missed assignments, and again, I give credit to Air Force. I'm not taking anything that I thought they played really well defensively and made it hard for us, but when we make it hard on ourselves, it's really hard to do some things. So on both of those drives, we kicked field goals. We had 2 critical missed assignments, and then we had pre-snap penalties. So, that's the recipe for disaster for us. It got us off schedule, and we weren't able to overcome it on a third down scenario. So it wasn't necessary. It was more of us in the second half of controlling what we can control and doing our job.
And in the second half, as you just said, you kind of called 3 plays, run these, and we're going to succeed. Was it just a matter of calling the right play, or did you see a little something extra from your guys?
I think it was just the challenge and what they needed to hear at the time. We needed to hang our hat on our culture. We needed to hang our hat on Kanye and the run game. We needed to hang our hat on those guys up front. And luckily we were able to respond, and we scored on that first drive of the second half, and that continued throughout. But that was the message and what I felt that they needed to hear, and they responded really well, and I was proud of how they responded.
Was that the biggest win of the day? Because this is the first time you've really faced adversity, and you came up big when you needed to.
Yeah, I think our team needed that, and back against the wall type of mentality, and knowing what we needed to do and have a goal and set forth and accomplish that goal. Anytime you can win those games is critically important. But, just to see how they responded and us being able to win the fourth quarter, how well our defense played throughout the game, special teams as well. I was just really proud of the effort and how the guys responded in the second half to get it done.
Kanye, are we seeing something next level from him now, or is this what you've seen all year, in your opinion?
I think he's continued to get better every week. But if you asked him, he would be really mad at a couple of plays on Saturday. Misfit on a power that could have been a really big play. Had a couple missed assignments. But he played tremendous in the second half and at spurts in the first half. But he's gotten better every week, and he's going to continue to get better, and he's a workhorse, and I'm really proud of how he's progressed.
I know you're not going to give away the game plan, but do you feel as though some of the other backs are going to get some carries as well, almost as a deception on Kanye, or just a need to get these guys a little more involved?
Absolutely. And every week, game plan to game plan, things change, and it's, certain things you take advantage of, and it's dependent upon the game and the game plan, so to speak. But I think every guy is ready for their opportunities, and we've got to continue to be complex enough and force them to defend every aspect of what we do. And hopefully we'll continue to do that on Saturday.
I know this is probably an internal question, but let's just say Bryson isn't quite ready until the end of the week. Let's just say Friday, boom, he can play, or you make a game time decision on Saturday. What's your thinking about that? Do you kind of go with the guy who's been practicing all week, or do you go with the guy who's taking you here?
I can't answer that question. We'll evaluate it day by day and just see how things are, and we'll put the guy that gives us the best opportunity to win and see how it goes this week.
Concern about missing 2 weeks, though, if that was the case?
We'll see.
All right. By the way, you guys got picked for number 25 in the CFP poll, so.
Yeah, it's a great honor. Obviously, it's a tribute to our team and the team's success to have that happen. But our focus is on North Texas and keeping it rolling and having a great practice tomorrow.
All right. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.